Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It's Coffee Ann on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us Tuesday morning, January 17th. This is Joe Callahan. With us is Linda Tebow. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
And Ed Carew. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Joe.
Ed from the Carew Investment Group. It's time for our first message from the Carew Investment Group, so let's hear it. Ed, what do you got?
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client accounts. And depending on what you're looking for, we can put together a program to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, and we'll put together a plan just for you. We focus on using quality, dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment-quality bonds, and exchange-traded mutual funds, and also the use of the advantages offered by using IRAs, tax advantages there. You can contact Paul or myself at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free, no-obligation portfolio review of your current holdings by calling us at 765-8880. Our office, again, is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and the phone number is 765-8880. You can also send me an email at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit our website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed. Okay, Linda, we're going to say it again. Ed was right again.
Oh, no, what I
Always
do?
right.
It's uncanny. Because last Tuesday, I mentioned to you, Ed, what's the stock for WWE? How's it doing since Vince McMahon came back? And he said, well, it's going up a little, but he's only back to sell the company. The next day, it's in the news, WWE's been sold. Of course, I don't think it really happened, though.
No.
So he was kind of right.
Yeah.
And it was all in the news that they were selling to this Saudi Arabia investment fund company.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, I wonder if this is true. And but then I saw nothing else about it over the next couple of days.
They're
So
one of the-
are they still talking?
Yeah, they're one of the rumored possible buyers.
Okay. All right. But, right again.
I'm telling you. He knows everything. You know what? I was thinking after we talked about that
Yeah.
last week, I figured out who you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
but WWE, maybe not everybody. What is it called?
Well, World Wrestling Entertainment
There you
is
go.
what it's
See,
called.
a lot of people don't know that.
Sorry, I
WWE,
just think they
these
do.
Initials. I knew what you were talking about, but
All right.
it took me a minute.
To figure it out.
Thank you.
And
Formerly WWF.
that's right.
F?
F.
Fighting. What?
No,
World Wrestling Federation.
Federation.
But
Oh,
then they
okay,
got into
okay.
a legal
But
hassle
see-
with the other WWF.
And
there's
called the
more than
World,
one?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
World
World
Wa-
Wildlife Federation.
or fund.
Oh,
Or is it
worldwide.
Federation?
Could
Okay.
be could be
Oh, okay.
fund.
A
Oh,
business.
so-
They're out of England, and
Yeah.
Oh,
they
all right.
said they got into a fight and they won. The animal people won.
Yeah.
They had it first. I'm like,
All right.
wow.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and then after Vince came back, his daughter, who was the CEO, immediately resigned, and then she had surgery on her ankle.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Okay.
It is bizarre what goes on in that world, but Ed was right again. Oh yeah, he's only back to sell, and
he is.
he announced he came back to negotiate a sale for the company, and so there you go.
Worldwide, what? Wrestling?
World Wrestling Entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yes.
Ah,
All right.
It's entertainment.
So
Okay.
speaking of entertainment,
Yeah.
Tom Brady's done for the year.
I know.
He was on Monday Night Football last night. Buccaneers against the Cowboys. I had it wrong again, and because I thought, oh yeah, Bucks have this, and they'll lose next week, whoever they play. But no, Cowboys came out firing, and Buccaneers looked terrible.
I know.
They just Brady just couldn't connect with any of his receivers, and they did score. They did get 2 touchdowns in the second half. It was 18-0 at halftime, and I said, all right, that's it. It looks like the Cowboys have us. Even with their place kicker missing 3 extra points at that point, and then he went on to miss another one. He did finally hit one at the end of the game when it really didn't matter. But this, I told Ed this, off the air. I don't know if you saw it, Linda. I saw it this morning. The owner of the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, he's at the game. And I don't know at what point that the place kicker, if he missed the third one or he missed the fourth one or whatever, but he tweeted out on his own Twitter account, if anyone's in the stadium that knows how to kick, please report to the Dallas Cowboys sideline. I'm like, this is the owner of the team. I'm like, oh, man, this place kicker's in trouble.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
well,
know,
I saw-
he's being funny, but oh, my
Yeah.
gosh, there's a
Yeah.
lot of seriousness behind that
Wow.
tweet.
Yeah, I saw him miss 3, and then
So did I.
And I said, they're not going to lose by 3 points, I don't think so.
Imagine if the Buccaneers came back.
Well, that's what I was
And
thinking.
lost by like 4 or 5 points.
4 or 5 points. It would have made a huge
Oh,
difference.
they'd be lynching him in
yeah.
Dallas.
Yeah, definitely. But
It's supposed to be a team win and a team loss, but this is all your fault.
Well-
but what do they do next week? Cowboys keep playing. I mean, do you want to bring in another place kicker right now?
I think I would, check in the stands, make sure there's somebody that can help out.
Ed, do you bring in another place kicker?
No, I wouldn't.
No,
First of
wouldn't
all, I don't
either.
even know if you can. At which
in the
point
playoffs?
can
Well,
you
what if-
not bring somebody in?
Well, let's assume for a minute he gets hurt.
Well, that's might be a different story.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
I guess you could always say the guy got
He
hurt. That's
his
why he
leg,
missed.
That's why he missed.
Someone go kick him in the leg. Now he's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Someone
hurt me.
break his leg. So yeah. Although I saw another one post, why don't and none of the teams do this. Why don't they have extra kickers on the team? There's only one place kicker. There's only one punter. Now, the two are actually interchangeable. They could do each other's jobs if they had to. Mm-hmm. So basically, there's 2 kickers on a team. But they're thinking maybe there should be more. I don't know.
I thought they had like 2.
No, there's
just,
one.
Just one.
There's one place kicker. Sometimes there's one place kicker, one guy that kicks off, and one punter. But that's rare too. So, and that they want to save the other spots for your wide receivers and your running backs and your defense people. And so we're making the assumption, well, you're our kicker. You know what to do. You're only 20 yards away. Although, have you ever tried to kick a football on a football field?
No,
I wouldn't want to try.
It's very difficult.
I'm sure.
For us.
Yeah.
but that's what they do.
I know it is. You said you could do this.
That's what they do.
But I've actually been at Patriots games where they have a contest.
Oh,
Not
yes.
all the time.
And if you get it, then you get.
Oh, you get
a
the
big
prize. You get
Yeah.
get the $100 or $1,000, whatever it is, and they pull people out of the stands and to try to kick a field goal from 20 yards away. It is terribly difficult. And I saw some guy try to do it. First of all, he's wearing like loafers.
Oh, you can't do that.
I'm like,
no.
I said, you're going to fall, first of all,
Yeah.
because it was kind of a misty day.
Yeah.
And now he's back like at the 40-yard line, getting a good head of steam. I'm like, this is never going to work. And he went running up and planted his left foot and fell because he just slid
Well, yeah.
and barely kicked the ball.
Yeah, loafers.
Of course, we got a good laugh out of the whole thing. But then someone else tried to do it and didn't make it. I mean, they planted their foot. They got a decent enough kick. But if you're not used to doing this,
Yeah.
the ball's hard
Yeah.
and it's tough to do. And you got to get it up high and kick it 20 yards.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty difficult.
But that's what they do.
I know. And so
They're trained, and that's their
he
specialty.
he kicked it far enough. He just didn't kick it straight enough.
But it was interesting because it went that way, and then it went the other way.
That's right.
It's like the middle is what you're shooting for.
So Tom's done, and the question is, I saw him on his press conference, and
Yeah.
he didn't say I'll be back next
he
year.
didn't say either way.
He
no.
he thanked the Bucks organization. He says
Yeah.
he loves them, loves still play. He says I love to play, but he didn't say anything, and then he quickly got out of there.
That wasn't his best performance.
So which leads me to believe, Ed, that's why he will come back. You don't want to leave on a down
on a bad note.
on a down note,
No.
and so I think he'll try it. I do think he'll go to another team.
New Orleans.
What's that? New Orleans? He may go to the Saints. I've heard the Raiders as
Saints,
one.
Yeah.
I don't think he comes back to the Patriots.
No.
That's just a real long shot.
Yeah, I don't
He wants to stay where it's warm.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
I think he goes to another team. He gives it one more shot to see if he can do pretty decent, and then if he doesn't do it next year, or gets it Super Bowl, okay, that's it.
When he did that, the Super Bowl and they won again. You know, he should have said,
That's it.
"Thank you, go out a champion." You know,
Mm-hmm. I remember when
he didn't look good, and he was yelling,
I know
a lot of yelling at
the
those
last
receiving
the
guys.
last time the Pittsburgh Steelers won, there was a player on their team named Jerome Bettis,
Oh, yeah.
known as the Bus,
Yeah.
and he said on the field, "That's it, I'm done. I just won the Super Bowl. I'm retiring
Well,
right
yeah,
now."
exactly.
I said, "Oh, smart guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
smart man,
Go
right
out-
there."
Go out on top.
Yep. So, well, we'll see what Tom decides to do, and now he doesn't have to ask Giselle. So
This is true.
it's
this
just
is true.
his decision now. So we'll see what.
He lost all that money on that Bitcoin, so he might have to
He
keep
may have to
working.
come back. That's right. I didn't think of that, Ed. All that money he lost.
Might have to keep working.
So it was in the news today, Linda. Jim Hagan
Yes.
passed away.
Yeah.
Did you work with him? Did you know
Well,
him?
I knew him. I knew of him. I knew him, but I did not work with him.
No,
he was
okay.
before my time in politics, and but I mean, he was so well known, and
He
everybody
was
loved
over in North Smithfield.
Oh yeah, he was
was
president of the council, and then he
How
became
long? You know,
for a while.
for-
and then he
okay.
and then he became senator,
yep.
state senator,
Mhm.
and everybody loved Jim Hagan.
Yeah.
yeah.
and he was he ran the Providence Chamber of Commerce for a
Yes,
while,
yeah.
and
then he was
did a lot of
Tupperware.
and Tupperware, and then he was
Tupperware.
in Buddy Cianci's
Yeah.
administration.
Right. So he
So
did.
this man did a lot.
Yeah, he did. He did. And he was a very nice man. Very,
Yep.
very nice. He was very well liked. And but I did not work with him. That was
No.
before I entered
Little-
the world of politics. in
Little
North
before your
Smithfield.
time, huh?
Before my time.
Okay. So we just want to mention the passing of
Yeah.
Jim
He
Hagan.
was a great man. He was.
Passed
yeah.
away
Yeah.
on the 13th at
Yeah.
down at the hospice center down there in Providence. All right, so so we've had a methadone clinic on Clinton Street
Yeah.
for a while, and now all of a sudden, the city has decided, nope, we want you out of there. Now, the headline is on the front page of the call. It said the mobile health unit told to vacate city property or risk fine. They're actually not on city property. They're on property of Community Care Alliance.
Right. That's,
But the city is saying that they're violating zoning laws just by being there. And they don't have a permit to do what they're doing there, so get out. Or face a $500 a day fine.
then they can't afford that.
Well, right, they're not bringing in any money.
They're not bringing in any money.
It's
They're
all
not for
free
profit,
there.
yeah.
So a cease and desist order has been ordered. Mobile unit violates 7 different city zoning ordinances, including operating as a quote unquote hospital in a location zoned for commercial use. The order is dated back to December 30th. It references an inspection made to the property on December 28th. So
But did it say how long they've been there?
well, now I got to look through it all.
Oh, I'm
So,
sorry. But I mean, they've been there a while.
They've been a while, it's
And nobody noticed.
no, they were there. And,
I know
they were there
I
for
know
a
they
while,
were.
and they were there. Well, not just them, but that's where people all went to get their COVID shots. On a,
Oh, that's right.
they
too.
had those
Was
places.
it the same?
Same place,
The same place,
Yes.
but not the same.
Not the
yeah,
same-
Yeah, the same place.
not the
right.
same
Like
bus. Or
near Thundermist.
that's right. I don't know why they just. Well, why can't we just go to the zoning officials and ask for a permit?
Well, that would make sense.
And won't that take care of it? I don't know. It just seems to be a little too easy to do it that way. I don't see anywhere in the article, Linda, where it says how
How long
long
they've been
they've
there.
actually been there working as a methadone clinic. Dave has sat down
That's
here.
because you're trying to read it too fast.
I know. Is it in there?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have they been there, Dave?
It's last July.
Okay.
But you're also the reason I walked in, Joe. You know, because I don't like to just jump in and correct people, but where the trailers are, the COVID shots, that's Thundermist property.
Okay.
A little further north on Clinton Street is the CCA property, and that's where this big motorhome comes
Basically,
in and
yeah.
does its thing. And the problem was, and how this came to surface now, the problem is that it's cold outside, and because of HIPAA laws and things like that, they cannot let everybody just come into the motorhome and wait and be treated and that sort of thing like that.
Yeah, it's not big enough.
Well, the problem is they can't, and yet everybody shows up. They're talking 40 people a day, and so what they do is people would just stay outside. But now the weather is so cold, they wanted to erect a semi-permanent building in the parking lot that could be heated for a waiting room. And they applied, and the zoning official, didn't get as far as the board yet. The zoning official said, no, that's not in compliance with zoning rules, and neither are you. Subject was dropped temporarily because now the CCA said, well, they can come in here and stay warm inside the main building and then go out to the parking lot when it's their turn. Anyway, they ended up on the radar screen of the zoning official, who then went out there on the 28th and said, oh, geez, no, this doesn't comply, this doesn't comply, this doesn't comply. If this had been in a state of emergency during the pandemic or something like that, then we just look the other way for a while, but there's no state of emergency in Woonsocket any longer. So we have to enforce the zoning laws, and I believe I have that right on how that all came around. Otherwise, it sounds very, very bad.
Yeah.
Well, I think too that site was chosen because of the opioid abuse and.
Oh, the whole idea of coming to
and
Woonsocket.
It was a good idea to put it in Woonsocket.
The head of the Kodak operation that
Yeah.
runs that motorhome said right there, I said, we're going to go with
Where the problem
people-
is.
Where it's most needed.
Right. And
And,
she
yeah.
was actually quoted by Stella Lawrence in today's Woonsocket call story as saying that Woonsocket has the most need of anywhere.
Yeah.
40
and
patients
that's
per
fact.
visit.
Yeah,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
that's
And
By this unit.
and 6 days a week.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, by comparison, the Cranston Street Harmony in Providence is one of the other places they go 5 days a week. So according to her numbers, there's more need in Woonsocket
Well,
than
there
there is
is.
even in Providence.
Yeah, no, there is, yeah.
Okay, more on this coming up in just a bit, but we want to take a second message from the Carew Investment Group.
Let's
So we'll
change gears.
we'll
Double
turn-
clutch, Ed.
we'll turn things back over to Ed Carew and his brand new car.
In my brand new car? I am not. It's too cold to sit
No,
out
still
there.
sit out there. You can sit in here, Ed.
Okay, thank you. All right, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street, 765-8880 is our phone number. Are you retired or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. And at the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you can call me, Ed Carew, or you can call Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Thanks, Ed. Comments and questions can be called into the Coffee and Program, 766-1240. More coming up. Woonsocket's newest antique store has doubled in size. Passed Down in Time now has more room for you to browse their unique gifts, Crossroad candles, old books, and many other vintage objects and collectibles. Passed Down in Time is directly across the street from Woonsocket City Hall on Main Street. Stop in and say hi to Cindy Wednesday through Saturday. Passed Down in Time invites you to discover the wondrous items that await you. Come in today. Passed Down in Time. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio in Woonsocket.
All right, Coffee and here on ON Radio. And so we're just we're trying to get our geography straight here. So Community Care Alliance is up the road on Clinton Street, where Missy's Family Restaurant is.
Yeah.
Right across the street
Yeah,
is
okay.
Community Care Alliance.
All right.
So if you're looking at their building,
Yeah.
to the left is where their parking lot is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it must be setting up in that parking
Right
lot.
in that parking lot.
Okay. So what's to stop the Kodak people? They're the ones running the clinic. Says, okay, we can't set up in the parking lot, but let's drive here, park, take all the stuff we need, go into Community Care Alliance, the building, give us a room
Well, if
and do what we need to do
if
in there.
If Continuing Care Alliance would allow that, that would be, would be a permanent setup, really. Rather than a.
Well, semi-permanent until we
Well,
could
yeah.
go someplace else.
I mean,
I don't know.
that's up to Continuing Care Alliance. The fact of
yeah.
the matter is, it's much needed.
Mm-hmm.
It's much needed.
I don't know. Does that seem like a good thing to do, Ed? Or
Well,
is
my
it-
first question on that would be, who owns the building that Continuing
Right.
Care Alliance is in?
I think.
Or do they lease it?
Oh, that's the thing, yeah. What does your lease say? Can you sublet to someone else to do this type of thing, or can't you?
It doesn't. I can't find
No,
it
you
right
don't.
away.
You're not going to find that in that
Oh, wait a minute.
article.
No.
Actually, I do. Okay, they'll be fined $500 each day. The property continues to violate the ordinance. Community Care Alliance, as the property owner, has the right to appeal the zoning board's decision within 20 days. So Community Care
they
Alliance
do
does
own- they
own
own
their
the building
building, yeah.
and the parking lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I guess they thought it was okay. Well, we own it. It's
Yeah.
our property. We can put
Right,
whatever we
yeah.
want on it. But the city's saying, no, you're violating zoning laws. So, okay, come in and show up. I don't know how long they stay there. But come into our building. And would that violate any?
Yeah.
Does that turn Community Care Alliance into a hospital? Was what they're saying about the
Well,
this
that's not
building.
a hospital. That's not a hospital. They're just
Um,
dispensing meds.
But that's what it says.
I know. I heard them say hospital.
They're operating as a quote, hospitals in quotes.
Yeah.
So if they move into Community Care Alliance, are they now operating as a hospital, and it violates their zoning?
I don't know if I'd call them. They're more of a clinic than a hospital.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think you've heard the end of this.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure they'll file an appeal. They
Yeah.
said they can. And
Well, I hope they can come up with some kind of a mutual agreement because,
Obviously it's
as
needed.
Dave was, it's obviously very much needed.
Mm-hmm.
The population is,
Okay. Moving on to other things, I'm gonna ask Ed this one. It's gonna sound like I'm asking you because you know Ed, but you probably don't. But it's more like your opinion.
Okay.
All right. The FBI raided Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
looking for classified documents.
Right.
They have found classified documents with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Why hasn't the FBI raided his home? You have the inner workings of the FBI, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I know it's a rhetorical question. It really doesn't have an answer, but I'm
Well, they
trying
did
to
go
think-
to his home, and they found some documents there too. His home in Delaware.
Okay, but how come it isn't the big?
because they were
Hoopla.
inadvertently put there.
By who?
Well, he was saying that some staff members from when he was vice president,
president.
And moving them
stored
out,
stuff
yeah.
around, and
At
they
his
ended
house?
up there that he didn't know it. He didn't.
Yeah.
Don't ask me if.
It was
Don't
a
ask me to
mistake.
say I think it's true.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I-
Okay, that's. I'm just saying what
he
what
said,
I've
what
read.
he's telling us.
I think the biggest difference between one and the other
Okay,
is that
maybe that's what I'm
they
looking for.
immediately turned over whatever they found,
Yeah.
whereas Trump fought it tooth and nail
Okay.
until he was ordered to by the courts. I think
Okay.
that's the biggest difference
Yeah.
there.
Has this been? Do you think this has been going on for years? And other VPs have got unclassified or classified documents in their homes because they keep saying the vice president has no authority to have classified documents. President does. But do you think this is just? It's just something we've just been doing for years, and now finally it's coming to light. And
I don't really find
No?
it unusual that a president or a vice president or even a speaker of the House or somebody in a high position within either party would take home some work papers. Mm-hmm. Instead of staying at the Capitol or staying at the White House or whatever, or you want to take some of this stuff home and work on it in the privacy of your own home, where you can relax a little bit more. I don't find that to be highly unusual. But what do I know? I don't know if it's legal or not.
But didn't Biden say at one point, "Hey, I didn't know these were here"?
He did.
But it's his house.
Yeah, I know, but if he didn't put him there, you know, he's blaming his staff members
Yeah.
from 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he probably doesn't even know what the staff members that were working there. You know? I'm not saying I believe
Okay.
him.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that
This is what
this
has
is
come out.
Yeah, this is what's come out so far. There may be more information. The thing is that you don't know what to believe with these guys.
That's so true.
You know?
Yeah. And what's the truth and what isn't?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what appears to be something may turn out to be completely different. Like I said, the only difference that I can see is where they said we found some paperwork. Well, then take it. I don't even want to know what's in it.
Okay.
Take it. Where Trump said, "Oh no, you can't take this."
It's mine.
It's
kind of
you
thing.
know,
Okay. Well, that clears it up a little.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, he already, a special counsel has been appointed to
Yes.
investigate it. Mm-hmm. And but I think that inadvertently, these things were there, and he's not taking any blame for anything.
He never gets any blame, huh?
No. Well, I think, I think this is raising lots of questions.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I think a lot of people are asking lots of questions.
he's not getting a free pass on this one.
Oh,
And you're
okay.
right. I think the fact that he turned them over, and he didn't turn them over. His people.
No, he
his
didn't turn them over
people
personally. It's his attorneys or
they
stuff like
turned
that.
them
Yeah,
over
here,
right
take 'em.
away. And the other thing is Trump was being Trump.
Yeah.
He was being Trump, and the other thing is too. There's probably a little bit of a let's get Trump kind of too. There.
We
you know
got
what I
we got to
mean?
look better than him.
Yeah, but I think people. The first thing I said, "Oh my gosh, isn't that the same thing?" And I think
That's
a lot
right,
of people
yeah.
are saying that too. But I think the point you made, Ed, that these were turned over
Yeah.
as soon as they were found.
Exactly. Yeah.
They were turned over, and oops, they found some more. A few more pages and stuff. But where Trump was, he dug his heels in and said no. So right away, it makes you suspicious that.
But are you hearing things, Ed or Linda, about Biden's lawyers are going through everything first before they get turned over?
No, they said they didn't even look at it. They said
didn't.
they
just
found it.
classified.
They
Yeah.
found it. It was classified. They turned it over.
And some of them said
Alright.
top secret. Some of them said top secret.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I get, I bring work home. You do too, probably.
Yeah.
You do too. But we're not the president
Well,
or the
no.
vice president.
My stuff's not classified.
I know I have some, I can't even imagine saying that anywhere close to that. But, as a nurse, I've had to deal sometimes with personal information of people. And,
Well, that's privacy issues.
That's privacy issues. And so, you would not be very cavalier about that. You'd, really be very careful in making sure that you don't go against the privacy laws and stuff like that. But then again, I'm not the president or the vice president.
Well, that's the thing. You
know
may
what I mean?
take some papers home, or I may take some
Yeah.
papers home to work on, but I'm not on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like the president and the vice president.
Bingo, exactly. Like when I was town administrator, that was 24/7.
Yeah, right.
And if there was anything that had anybody's name on it, it stayed secure, not in my home.
Yeah.
Well, okay then. I just thought it was odd that the Trumps, they had the big media circus of the FBI's raiding his Mar-a-Lago home.
And that's
and it
exactly
didn't happen with-
that.
Well,
It didn't happen with
you get
Biden.
another thing here, too, is you get the Attorney General, what's his name, Garland?
Garland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Merrick
Merrick Garland.
Garland.
Guy's a political hack anyway. And he's got it in for Trump.
Yeah.
But in his credit, he did appoint a special counsel for
To
this
look into
thing with
Biden
the
thing.
Biden thing. Yeah.
And
'Cause he
he's
had to.
Republican.
Yeah,
Special
yeah,
counsel is
yeah,
a Republican.
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes it about as clear as mud, so very
Well,
good.
Pretty much.
Nothing is clear in mud when it comes to.
Well,
know.
you're asking
Yeah.
a question about something, about a developing story.
Yeah.
So You're not going to get a
Crystal
complete
clear
answer.
picture. Okay. It is time for another break here in the Coffee and program, and let's take a look at the weather forecast being brought to you by Unbound.org.
Increasingly cloudy today with a high of 47 degrees and a light west wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 33. Wednesday's weather, partly sunny with a high of 47 and a breeze from the west. Thursday, a 70% chance of rain likely, mostly cloudy, high of 41. Friday, a chance of snow, 50% chance, mostly cloudy with a high of 37. Saturday, sunshine and 36. Sunday, sunshine and 41. Monday, a chance of rain and snow, partly sunny with a high of 43.
Thanks, Dave. Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have sunny skies at the moment and 35 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer inviting you to join me for the Saturday Block Party. It's every Saturday from 4 until 7 p.m. when we fill the airwaves with the songs you want to hear. It's a party in every sense of the word, so join me live on 99.5 and 1240 a.m. or bring the show with you wherever you go at onworldwide.com.
That's us. Thanks, Bruce. Cruisin' Bruce every Saturday here on ON Radio from 4 to 7. Coffee in on ON Radio right now. Joe Callan here with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. And we did get a note that was sent over to me. This is about the whole Biden classified document things. Mm-hmm. And the caller just says they were not turned over right away. They held on to them until after the midterm elections.
Oh, right. You know what?
Was that true?
You know something?
What do you know about that,
I
Linda?
think I recall that.
Yeah?
That they held them until after the. I remember hearing that. Yes, I didn't know if that was true, but
I read
What do you know about that, Ed?
yeah.
I read
Did you read that?
something like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not the way I understood it. I understood that they were turned over, but
Yeah. Not made public.
not made public
Yeah.
until after.
Yeah.
That's,
What, the whole announcement that we even got this stuff, so
Yeah.
we just waited and then
Yeah.
we'll make the announcement?
that's
that,
the way I understood it.
Ah.
I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
All right.
I
well,
remember hearing that now. He's right. Or she, whoever.
Mm-hmm.
They held them.
All right. Interesting, huh? All right. Anyway, all right, moving away from that, let's see. No surprise here. Providence Place Mall, Talbot's, that retailer, is leaving.
They are. Huh?
Yes. Now they're going to stay. And have you shopped Talbot's before?
I've not there, but yes, I have
Okay.
shopped Talbot's, yes.
Is Talbot's a public traded company, Ed? Do you know?
I don't know. Maybe-
Okay.
I don't know.
They're more of a higher end.
They are. Yeah.
And they're going to stay in Barrington, Garden City, and Newport, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I can see them leaving Talbot's. I don't know why anyone would stay at the Providence Place Mall. Because of the reputation it has.
Yeah.
Because of what happens inside. Haven't heard it in a while, but there's
No.
still
Yeah.
bad things happen inside the Providence Place Mall.
Yeah.
And it's confusing if you're in there of how to get from one place to another.
Yeah.
It's not a circle. It's weird. But if you know exactly where you're going, and can get there quickly enough, you'll be okay. Because I've gone to Dave and Buster's there, had a nice
Mm-hmm. That's right.
hamburger,
Yeah.
and you're fine when you're inside. When you're inside Dave and Buster's, but then you got to leave. At some point, you got to leave, and you got to plan which way. How do we get out of here without running into anybody
Yeah.
of shady characters, kind of thing. And so it's not fun. And I've gone. Is the Cheesecake Factory there?
I don't know.
There's another restaurant on the ground floor
Yeah.
that you can access from the street, and you don't have to go into the mall. And I've gone there,
I haven't.
and I felt okay there. But
Yeah.
it's just, so I'm not surprised Talbot is leaving. They're probably, their sales are probably not that great
Yeah.
at
not
that
there,
place because
not
it's
there.
just not
No,
drawing
they have
the kind of
excellent-
clientele they want.
Yeah. No. Excellent clothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a high-end store.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say how long they were there, but it's yet another store that's leaving Providence
Mm-hmm.
Place. So they're gone and they're out of there. Okay. Other things going on. You might have heard about this, especially you, Ed, and me, because we live in Massachusetts. There was a teenager from Rehoboth that passed away. He was in a car accident in Berkeley,
16 years
Massachusetts.
old.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was driving. He was not. I got that wrong. He was the passenger in the car, in a pickup truck that rolled over yesterday morning around 7:30 after they hit a utility pole in a tree. The 16-year-old that was driving, and that you can't do that in Massachusetts.
That's the first thing that came up. It can't
Yep.
do that.
Is being treated for non-life-threatening
Yeah.
injuries, so that's okay. There were no other vehicles involved, but it was a 16-year-old boy. His name is Dylan Quinn that passed away. He was a goalie, I believe, on a
He was the goalie
one of
on
the
a hockey
hockey team
team.
from one of the
Yeah.
Bristol County Technical High School. I'm not even sure where that is.
Regional. Yeah.
Down there, very nice guy, very popular guy from what I've read,
Yeah.
and just that's tragic.
But that was my
right there.
first thought when they said a teenager. I said, "Gee, the law is right. They can only have a sibling, not a."
Nope, the act, it's so vague.
Yeah.
Because my daughter just went through all this.
Because I know my grandkids, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just siblings. It can be a family member.
Family member, right? Like mother of. Yeah.
Well, you can have cousins.
You can have a cousin.
Yes, that's okay.
Oh, really? Oh.
So now all of a sudden, if you're 16 and you're driving your friends around, everyone's your cousin.
Oh,
In
okay.
case you get pulled over by the
See,
police.
I thought it just was like brother sister.
No, they don't get that specific. And that's where I say it gets vague. Because we even asked that because parents have to do a little driving education thing when your siblings, not your siblings, when your kids take it. And someone asked that, I said, "Well, what's family?"
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, Mass doesn't really explain it, so it can be cousins
It
and
can be a cousin.
and things like that," which I always thought was odd because I've said my daughter can get into a car, she can drive 20 minutes and pick up her 14-year-old cousin in Attleboro and go wherever they want, and it's fine. But my daughter cannot go 100 yards across the street and pick up her friend.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
I wish
I
Mass would
thought-
do something
Yeah,
about
I thought
that,
the
but-
rationale behind that law was that they didn't want a teenage driver with a car full of teenage kids.
That's
because
what they
then
don't want. That's right.
That's what they don't want. And so to say cousins, I think it's stretching.
It is.
Could be a third cousin twice
That's
removed or
right.
something,
Now, the only other way around that is
Yeah.
if there's someone over 21 in the car.
Oh, I thought it had to be the driver.
No.
In the car?
In the car, in the passenger seat. So I can be in the car. My daughter can drive. I can be in the front seat. I have to be in the front seat, the passenger side. And then we can have 17 kids in the back seat. I'm
Okay.
exaggerating, of
No,
course.
no, I get it.
But then
I
she can
get
go around and pick up like
Really?
3 of her friends.
Jeez.
And then we can go wherever they want to go.
Oh.
As long as I'm, or someone over a licensed driver over 21 is in the passenger seat. So I don't know. I guess I can grab the wheel and do whatever I'm supposed to do in case of
Or make
an
sure
emergency
they're not
comes up.
texting, or make sure they're
Not
not doing
texting.
all that kind of stuff.
Don't turn around and talk to
Yeah.
your friends.
Right,
Stay focused on the road. That kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it hasn't come up yet.
Yeah.
She's gotten to the point now where all her friends are getting there, are driving themselves.
Sure.
So okay, we'll all meet.
Yeah.
Talk
Right.
about wasting gas.
Well, no, yeah, and they have. I remember that too with
all
the kids.
5
yeah.
cars will meet at the movie
Yeah,
theater.
exactly.
They all meet, They go to the movies, and then they all
And they
five
all
drive
five
home in
drive.
separate cars.
Yeah, yeah. I remember going through that with my grandson and granddaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and it's like that for about a year and a half until they become 18,
right.
and then it all drops away after
Yeah.
that. After that,
That's when they
So-
get their real license, right? 18,
right
18.
Right now in
They have a
Massachusetts,
license that's
it's a junior license.
Junior license.
and
yeah.
what's I don't know if you remember. I don't know if they did this with your kids, Ed, when they were growing up. But the license in Massachusetts for a junior operator is not horizontal; it's vertical.
Yeah,
To
Oh,
make
really?
it's to make it different. So the
Yeah.
picture's at the top,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and then all the information is down
Down
below.
below.
It's the same size.
Yeah.
It's just turned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's different.
Hmm.
But it makes it very hard to. The police will know right away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Once you
yeah.
hand it over, this
Yeah.
is a junior operator that
Yeah.
we're dealing with immediately.
But that, and sadly, that young man died. But that was my
That
first
is.
thought.
I mean, they probably, yeah. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, of course.
Yeah.
But that's what happened there. Other things going on down there in Massachusetts is Edaville theme park.
Yeah.
They still have the same owners. It was for sale for a little while, and no one bought it up. And now they've lost their license, basically, with Thomas the Tank Engine. 20 years ago, they did a licensing agreement, and they had a Thomas the Tank Engine land. It was the only place in the United States that had a theme park with Thomas
yeah.
rides and characters and things like that. If you don't know who Thomas is, it's for a preschool.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
preschool set.
Yeah.
You see him on PBS, and
Yeah.
and the 2 to 5 year old kids
Yeah.
really like it. And I was down there with my daughter one time and saw the rides that they had. But now that agreement has gone away, and you know the train that went around the cranberry bogs was a Thomas the Tank Engine train.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they had to get rid of all that, and now and they had a Dino Land, and that's kind of gone away too. And I don't know what they're planning on doing. Have you heard any news, Ed?
I saw something in the online the other day. They want to make some kind of a theme park.
Okay.
Or something like you see in Europe is how it was described. It,
So
it
what do
didn't
you
go into
see?
a lot. I don't know. It
Really?
didn't go into a lot of detail, but it was something that they want to be open 52 weeks out of the year instead of just part of the year and things like that. So more
Well,
to come.
It's tough to have a theme park running 52 weeks a year in Rhode Island.
yeah.
Oh, no, New England.
Yeah.
It's just it gets really cold.
Right.
Now they would open up. And they would open up at Christmas time.
Yeah, they would have all the
thing.
Christmas
Have a
lights
few
and
things
everything.
going.
Yeah.
Who else does that? Santa's Village in
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
They open up at Christmas time
Well, yeah.
and for New Year's, but that's it. It's like
Yeah.
for a week.
Yeah.
Because they're even chillier.
Yeah, right. But I mean,
way
it's
up there. Yeah, I
appropriate
mean,
in New Hampshire to have Santa's Village
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could keep something going unless everything is inside.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There wasn't much information there.
Yeah.
And based on something in Europe, I mean, where is it based in Norway or is it, you know?
Really? Yeah.
I mean, Europe's not a small place, you know.
Yeah,
There
you're
could
right,
be
yeah.
something
Yeah.
there in a cold area that
Yeah.
they use.
Now, according to the news reports we have, now the owners of Edaville, they want to turn some of the property and make it into 300 apartment units. So, and now what we have is not have it open in the summertime. All right, they want to go back to just making it open during November and December,
Christmas.
and just for the Christmas
Yeah.
time. I wonder if they could make enough money during that small 8-week period
Yeah.
to make it last all year. They'd have to be pretty nice.
Oh, if they have 300 apartments, you said?
They want to. According to the story we have, let's see. They want to convert part of the hundreds of acres of property that they have in Carver, Mass, into over 300 apartment units. Well, they get rent that way.
Yeah.
that would certainly help
That could be what'll sustain.
them through the summer months.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a break right now. Ed Crew's got to go. He's got
I do. I have an appointment.
business appointments to attend to. So that's important. So, Ed, thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure.
We appreciate it very much. We'll see you next Tuesday here on
See
the
you next
Coffee and
week.
Program. All
Yep.
right. I think Dave Richards is going to join us. It's not going to be the same, man.
but that doesn't mean it won't be as good.
You got a good point there. Okay.
Better, maybe.
More coffee ads coming up. Stay tuned. Do you have an apartment or home for rent? Or perhaps you have extra items to sell. With over 50,000 readers in print and online, The Call and OneSocketCall.com is the best place to reach customers here in the Blackstone Valley. Whether it's apartment rentals, homes for sale or rent, lost and found items, or even job listings, our classifieds offer an affordable way to reach readers, subscribers, and advertisers every day of the week. So, if you have something you want to sell, call us today at 767-8503 with your ad, and it will appear in the next day's call. Be sure to call before the 2:30 p.m. deadline. That's 767-8503 to place your ad today.
Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was.
Oh, I'm Mortimer.
Bill.
Is that you under that blindfold?
Bill, with this thing on, I can't see who I am.
No, I imagine not. Can't you see anything at all under that blindfold?
On a clear day, I can see the blindfold.
You can.
Yeah.
When Radio Was, shows from the past for today's imaginations.
When Radio Was airs Monday through Friday, right here on ON 1240 Radio at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, it is ON Radio. Thanks for joining us this morning. And this is Joe Callahan here with Linda Tebow. Dave Richards has decided to join us, filling in for
Thank
Ed
you for the
Carew.
kind note on that, Ed. Come to my rescue. What a pal.
So, Linda, I'm going to ask you this question. I want to know if it bothers you as much as it bothers Dave. All right?
Which Dave?
This Dave. This Dave right here.
Okay.
I don't know about your husband, Dave, but this Dave right here. And we have a story in here because we have to have a story because we have the first ever Asian Americans in the Rhode Island General Assembly, and this makes the news because they're the first ones, and it's just. And Dave's like, why can't we all just get along? And does it bug you as much?
Well, you know it does.
Okay.
It does. It's just like saying the first woman,
Yeah.
It does, you know.
It's idle talk.
Huh?
It's idle talk.
It is. And, you know.
Because if we truly believed in equality and worked for it, we wouldn't see the differences in people.
Yeah.
So why are you pointing out the differences is the question that's
exactly,
on my mind.
they do. No, and you know, the thing is, when they make a big deal about things, the one that really fries me is when they say the first woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then if you
And
say
my
the
mother
first
used to go
black
up like a
woman or the black
skyrocket when that
Asian woman or whatever, then that really fries me because
It means they're bored and they're looking for something to talk about.
well, yeah, you know, and you're right, Dave. That you know, then you're pointing out the differences. What's the so then every German American,
Well, you never
every
see
French
them.
American,
Well, you never-
every
yeah.
Portuguese American, every Swedish American,
Oh, yeah.
Scottish American, do we recognize those too?
They have in the past.
It's funny because there's two of them.
Didn't they have the first Polish pope? Made a big
yes,
deal out of that.
That was a
Yeah.
big
But he
deal.
was a pope.
Yeah.
30 years ago.
He got
That was
elected.
That was a big
Yeah.
He
deal.
went through the ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got
And they made a big deal out of the one that came from Argentina.
Right.
yeah.
Because the first
Yeah.
Argentinian
Yeah.
made it there.
No, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
It's done all the time.
It's not all the time.
And what's funny is now there's two of these Asian Americans.
Yeah.
These Asian Americans.
See, I call
they're
them
in the general-
hyphenated
There's
Americans.
two fine ladies who were elected
Well, that's the
by
point.
their
That's
districts.
what I'm trying to
But
make.
not because they were Asian American,
No.
because they were, yeah. you
But what's
know.
funny is they don't mention that they're women.
No, I'm surprised.
They don't say the first- they
I'm
don't even
surprised
say
they don't
first
play that card too.
Asian American women.
Women. Yeah.
that were elected.
Yeah.
One, by the way, one represents Charlestown, South Kingstown, and Westerly. The other represents Bristol and Portsmouth.
If they had
in
said
case
they,
you were
they were the
wondering.
most
Qualified?
person.
Yeah.
But that
person.
wouldn't make the news.
Well, I know it wouldn't. No, but you know, I call it that hyphenated Americans, and
Yeah.
you know, my mom. We're Americans.
Yeah.
We're Americans. You will speak English. You are an American. You will stand and salute the flag. We're Americans.
Okay. Now, Linda, you have an animal. You have a dog, right?
I do. I
All
have my
right.
little
Well,
Nellie
no.
Sunshine, the pug.
well, you might want to be. There's a dog up for adoption in Rhode Island. It gained popularity because it's a hybrid
Wolf, yeah.
Yes, and dogs.
And it's
Zeus.
illegal to own one in
In
Rhode
Rhode
Island.
Island,
So it's
yeah.
up for adoption, and are there any takers?
Yeah,
Gee
Vermont.
whiz, I don't know.
No,
Are you
somebody
sure?
in Vermont. Somebody
Oh, it
adopted
is.
them from the Potter League. They adopted
Then
them.
why is it up for adoption in Rhode Island? Why does it say it's up for adoption in Rhode Island when it's
Because
illegal in
it-
Rhode Island?
Poor
Well-
news writing, Joe.
No, it's up for adoption because he's at Potter League, which is in Rhode Island.
Right.
So you have to adopt it and take it somewhere else?
So you have
That's
to be
right.
from someplace else. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and then
He's
why-
beautiful. Did you see him?
I have seen the picture.
Oh my
of him.
God,
Yeah,
he's
it's a beautiful
beautiful,
dog.
and he's
Zeus,
probably an eighth wolf. You
He's
know?
a 4-year-old mix,
Yeah.
also including Husky and German
German
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Yeah.
You're right, it's taken in by the Potter League of Animals. That's
Yeah.
in Middletown.
Yeah.
But it's illegal to have a wolf dog as a pet in
Yeah.
Rhode Island, so Zeus is moving to upstate Vermont, one of the few states in the Northeast that allows people to own them. So if you want to own
He's
them,
beautiful.
you gotta go up there.
I thought that all dogs had a little wolf in them.
Well, they
And all
come
wolves
from
have a
Yes.
little dog in them.
Yeah,
Isn't
they-
that commercial for that dog food company actually
Right.
puts it in there?
Yeah,
They're
right.
all part
Well,
wolf.
all
Oh, they developed from
all
wolves.
dogs got developed from
Yeah.
way back when. Yeah.
Except
right.
pugs.
Well, yeah, they were designed. Yeah,
They were custom orders.
they were customs. Yeah, they were.
All right. In Bismarck, North Dakota, Linda, the State Health and Human Services Committee is hearing testimony about a bill that would lower prescription drug prices. All right. Supporters say the bill will make prescriptions more affordable, especially for seniors. Opponents say the bill would limit access to some medicines that exceed the government's set price. Similar bills have been introduced in New York, Hawaii, North Carolina, Oklahoma, and Rhode Island.
Why? I'm not under. Why would it limit some of the drugs? I'm not understanding that.
You up on
Well,
this,
they're,
Dave?
they're saying there's a cap on prices.
Oh, a cap. So some of the.
That's right. And if the pharmaceutical company does not lower the price to that level in that state, then you won't be able to buy it.
But you need it. But you may need it, but you can't buy it.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem right, huh?
No.
So,
It's just another episode of government failing to beat up millionaires. Or trying, but failing to beat up millionaires. Millionaires will win.
all right. Well,
They'll
keep
just sell
on
it in
that.
another state.
That's
and
right.
boo-hoo, you can't have it.
And North Dakota's a little trouble. It's not easy to, unless you're on the border to get to other states. It's not like Rhode Island. Well, just run to Mass and get it
that's
up
right.
there. It's
Or Connecticut.
close enough. That's right. All right. In other better news,
Or
former
you can go to New Hampshire for your liquor.
yes, there's no sales tax.
I knew somebody who did it.
A lot
I
of
didn't
people.
think
a
the
lot of
prices
people
were
do.
that much different. A little less, but no big deal.
Well, you don't pay the tax.
I mean, yeah,
That's-
but
the prices are the same.
Yeah, but he travels 60 miles. Back then, what was it, $1.80 a gallon?
Mm-hmm.
He travels 60 miles up and 60 miles back to save 20 cents on a bottle of booze.
But you don't buy just one bottle. You stock up. You buy a lot.
well,
It's
not
like
the
going,
guy I'm
it's like going to
thinking
the
of.
warehouse.
Not the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah, he
He'd go
bought
for one
several.
bottle?
He bought several,
Okay.
but he didn't. Yeah, but his total savings couldn't have amounted to $5. Total
Okay.
savings.
Yeah.
Based on what he could get locally,
All right. Most people buy more.
and then he just drank it away anyway.
It's just all you have to do is sit in the parking lot and watch the people coming out of that state liquor store in New Hampshire. It's amazing what they come out with. But no beer. Can't buy beer or wine though. Well, you might be able to get wine, but you can't buy beer in the state liquor store.
Is that so?
Yeah, they leave that for like the mom and the pop shops.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is what's going on. 4 Marine scientists, they're now training in Florida.
Now, these members of the U.S. Marines, or are they
Nope.
scientists for ocean things?
Ocean things.
Okay, that's
Yes.
Marine scientists
They're
that
not-
way.
Yeah. They're training in Florida. They want to row 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean,
They do.
one at a time, and we'll just switch when it's your turn. The four women, how about that, who call themselves the Salty Science, are planning to compete in the 2023 Atlantic Challenge later this year. I didn't know they do this every year. It's a part of an effort to raise awareness and money for ocean conservation. They'll launch off the coast of northwestern Africa in early December. And they'll row about 12 hours a day, hopefully to cross the Atlantic in 45 days.
What month was that?
Hit that wire again there, Dave.
What month was that?
They don't say what month. It's this year, just later this year.
Yeah, because there's several months this year where you're not going to want to be in that Gulf Stream. Coming
No, that's
across
that's where the hurricanes
That's
start.
where the hurricanes develop. Yes.
So I thought they were going from like Florida to England. I guess they're going from Africa here.
That's
this way.
That's how the currents go. Otherwise, they have to go up past
Against
Nova
the current.
Scotia
Oh,
and past Iceland and Greenland to get over to the European continent. Mm-hmm. And I can understand that'll be 3,000 miles for sure.
well, maybe if they get right in front of a good hurricane, that good wind will be pushing them.
That's not a sailboat. It's
Oh, I know
rowboat.
it's a rowboat, but
Little
it'll
red rented rowboat.
it'll still push you along though.
Wow.
I don't. Dave and I talked about this earlier, Linda. But I don't know if you heard our little story about speaking of dogs and what they've done in New York City. But they have their first honorary dog mayor. They sworn it in on the steps of City Hall in New York City this past weekend. Sally Longdog, the Basset Hound,
Basset.
is the mayor, and the deputy dog mayor Riley is a golden retriever. All right. They celebrated at the official inaugural ball at the Dog Cafe that's in the East Village. The election culminated last November following an election. 16 candidates from across the 5 boroughs of New York.
Wow.
So they put up 16, so that's at least 3 from each borough, plus 1.
Wow.
We want our dog to be mayor of New York City in the first era.
There you go.
They got a lot of time.
They have a lot of time on their hands.
Hands.
But, there are those that think, dogs are nicer than a lot of people. So,
Well, in New York, I'm sure they have examples of that.
Yeah. So I guess it's a fun thing to do. It's kind of like around here when they say let's name the snowplows. They have the snowplow contest at certain.
Yeah.
Well, they don't
towns.
do it here, but they do it elsewhere.
Elsewhere. In,
Yeah.
South
That's-
Dakota,
yeah,
they named
yeah.
the
Yeah,
Snowplow.
They do it up in northern New
Yeah.
England too. Let's
They do,
name
yeah.
let's name the
That's
snowplows
good.
kind of thing. So, and the kids come up with some pretty
That's
interesting
cool.
names.
No, I hadn't
so.
heard that story, but I never met a dog I didn't like. So, there you go.
You've never met a dog you didn't like?
Mostly no.
No,
No.
not even as a kid.
No.
Never was bitched when you weren't expecting it. Or...
No.
Well, you're lucky.
No. And we used to have big dogs. I had.
Let me tell you this story. This one, I'm going to school in Idaho. All right, and I'm walking to class.
Yeah.
So I'm walking this way. Coming towards me is another guy walking his dog. So there's me, then the guy, and then the dog.
Yeah.
All right. As we pass each other, and we don't even acknowledge each other because I'm focused. I'm on my way. As we pass each other, the dog, pretty amazing, athletic. It jumped around his owner and bit me.
Was it something you said?
We didn't say anything. Didn't
Did you-
acknowledge each other.
Was he-
Nothing. I didn't look at the dog. I didn't look at him. I was looking straight
You're
ahead.
patently unfriendly.
Wow.
It was a good sized dog.
Wow.
I don't remember. It wasn't a pug.
Yeah.
I don't remember what kind, but it was a decent sized dog, and it ripped a hole in my pants. It was a perfect 90 degree angle rip.
Yeah. Hooked on a canine tooth.
Yeah, and I might have been bleeding a little. And I'm like, and he apologized, and so I said, I hope your dog has had rabies shots.
Yeah.
And he said yes. I had to take his word for it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't go back to my dorm room to change pants. I'd have been late for class.
Yeah.
So I went to class
Just
that
sit
way.
there
I'm
and bleed
like,
all over the floor. The
I-
teacher will get the message.
No, I got the. I think I was able to hit the men's room, grabbed a few paper towels. Jeez, I can't believe this. Wrecked a good pair of pants though. But
Which means a lot when you're
So
in
that was a
college.
dog you didn't like.
well, that one, yeah, because I
Yeah,
did
no.
nothing to provoke it.
Yeah.
I did nothing to what could be construed as I'm attacking his owner.
Yeah.
No,
You didn't
although
even-
we were near each other,
Yeah.
but I didn't see any reason that we need to separate,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, all right,
Well, probably though he was being protective of his
Well,
own.
it's-
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, well, we rationalize things, but what's actually going on in a dog's mind, nobody really understands. I mean, the one that chewed me to pieces, really chewed me to pieces, was I was the only one allowed with the dog. It's my grandmother's dog, and I just taken it for a walk after school. It was raining. It was a Tuesday. I was wiping it down. Have no idea why that dog turned on me, but
As
it
you were
did.
drying it off. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it turned around, took the ear, that was dangling.
Wow.
The hand, I still have scars on the hand, the leg, the whole business like that. Oh yeah, as I was trying to get away from the dog, but I still like the dog.
What kind of a dog?
I was very upset because I knew what was going to happen to the dog.
Yeah.
Because we grew up with outdoors people. If a dog bites, a person, they put it down.
Yep.
They don't give it a second chance.
Yeah. What kind of a dog was he?
A Cocker Spaniel.
A
They're
Cocker
temperamental.
Spaniel?
A little Cocker Spaniel. But boy, fast. Ooh,
Wow.
my goodness, fast. Bit the heck. I was bitten up before I even knew it was happening.
Wow.
And I was dragging it behind me, had my hand. I was dragging it behind me as I was trying to get away from it after he'd done the side of my face and ripped part of my ear off.
Wow.
Disconnected the ear.
Cocker.
It was a couple of weeks ago. I was over visiting my mother at St. Antoine Community, and I'm leaving. An Irish setter broke away from whoever the woman that was walking in with it, barking and coming right at me. I'm like, well, Irish setters are not known for attacking, so
No,
I just stopped and tried to. I said, I think I'm supposed to make myself as big as possible, so I look bigger than him. And he stopped, and the woman kept calling it back. It eventually went back to her. So this one didn't bite me, but it was coming right at me and barking. I'm like,
Wow.
I am not doing anything to provoke you. I don't get it. But you can't reason when they're charging. So,
No.
oh
Wow.
well. So
no,
that's my.
no, I'm fortunate.
You're lucky.
No, nothing's. And I had shepherds. We always had big dogs.
Big dogs. And they never, well, good for you, Linda. All right, we've come to the end of the program. We've got to wrap things up. So thank you very much for listening. As always, our thanks to Ed Carew for coming in today. We thank Dave for filling in for the last few minutes.
You're
here.
entirely
Thanks,
welcome.
Dave. And we thank Linda Tebow for being here as well. Thanks, Linda.
My pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Oh, the other thing I want to bring up, Linda, you say you're done with Tom Brady. There's a new movie coming out.
Yes.
80 for Brady.
80 for Brady.
February 3rd. I think
Yes.
it opens February 3rd in theaters. Great cast. Sally Field, Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Rita Moreno.
I know.
Based on a true story, Dave, of these four elderly women in their 80s who are Patriots fans, and they really exist, decided to go to the Super Bowl one year, one of the ones that the Patriots won, and didn't have tickets. And that's the whole shtick. We do nothing. We're retired. We have a lot of money. Let's go to. I think they went down to New Orleans.
I saw the trailers on that.
It
and
looks
I said, that
really,
looks like a great
really
movie.
funny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not done with Tom Brady yet.
No, I know.
And Tom's in the movie.
Yes, I
And
know.
so Gronk,
and Gronk's
in it as
too.
well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We have Do You Remember? Gary Smith and the Crew coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio.
And by the way,
broadcasting live and local daily
Fade
from
that.
the Navigant
Fade
Credit
that.
Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
Just before the news,
All right.
Dave.
Right. Yeah. Okay, fine. By the way, just got news before I walked in the studio. Don Brunel won't be with us today. Normally he would be at 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. Not feeling up to par. He's called in. So there'll be no Don Brunel this afternoon.
All right.
Just thought you'd like to know about that.
Very good. Thanks, Dave.
Owners of the Edaville Family Theme Park and its scenic railroad are reportedly considering some big changes. They want to convert part of the hundreds of acres of property that they own